Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia and welcome back to the Overwatch League Transfer Roundup 2019, off-season, whatever. Let's get on with this, shall we? I don't know why that intro was so fast, by the way. Okay, let's get into this, shall we? Now, we left off last time with the release of Enlea and Daco from the Atlanta Reign, so that's where we'll start off this time. All of these transfers are right as of about 10:30 at night on the 17th of November, so basically the day before this video is going out. And we shall start from here, where we see Revenge, the support for Hangzhou Spark, leaving the team he is now currently unassigned. Also, we have a lot of movements from the Guangzhou Charge, with them releasing Rise, Hotbar, Fraggy, Bishu, and Only Wish. Bishu and Hotbar will crop up a little bit later on. Sticking with the Hangzhou Spark again, and they have signed a coach called Yeah. I love that name. So simple. And then we're back to the London Spitfire, which, you know, we've seen a lot of news about the London Spitfire over these past few weeks, haven't we? Well, they released Quartermain and Bedosin, so none of the original London Spitfire roster from the 2018 winning season actually remains. You may have heard of some of these transfers in the other videos, by the way, but I wanted to do a total roundup of it so we can cover all the transfers and some we might have missed as well. Moving on, and the next one up is Fact Fiction. He has been let go from the LA Valiant. I feel sorry for Fact Fiction. He can never last at a team, the poor bloke. He never lasts a season. He always comes in midway through the season because someone needs an emergency main tank. Poor Fact Fiction. Moving on, though, we have a DPS. This is Mirror, moving from the Boston Uprising Academy to the LA Gladiators. He will be playing alongside the wonder that is Birdring if he pops off next season, and he will be the first Vietnamese Overwatch League player, so that's really, really cool. Nice to see some more diversity coming into the Overwatch League. Then we have another DPS. There's a lot of DPS actually coming up, and that is Doa. He is moving from Element Mystique to the Dallas Fuel. This is a really, really big pickup for the Dallas Fuel. Like, if you're picking up players from Element Mystique, you know you're getting good players, because Element Mystique have been at the top of Korean contenders for so long now, and they won the Gauntlet. So that's why they're making so many waves of Element Mystique. They've been right up there with Runaway all along, and these players, undoubtedly good signings. What does it mean for the current Dallas Fuel DPS, though? That's the question I would ask. And then, moving on, we have someone joining the Atlanta Reign. This is Edison, another DPS player from GC Busan Wave. Again, another good signing. Atlanta Reign, diversifying the DPS lineup, really interesting to see. And then, to round off a bit of DPS for a minute, we have Fleta. The Fleta situation is finally cleared up. He has left the Seoul Dynasty and has joined the Shanghai Dragons. This had been rumoured for a while. This is a really good pickup for the Shanghai Dragons. Fleta was really good in the inaugural season despite Seoul Dynasty's difficulties. And looking at the meta change that could be going on right now, I've recently watched some pro pugs of the patch on the PTR right now. And looking at what's going on, Fleta, you know, if you've got someone who can play a really decent hit scan, it could be really crucial to you in the coming months. So this is a really good pickup for the Shanghai Dragons. Moving on, and we have a new assistant coach at the Philadelphia Fusion. This is Moby Dick. And then they also have a new strategic analyst. It is Saita, who is leaving his role as a strategic coach at the Paris Eternal, and he'll take up the strategic analyst role at Philadelphia Fusion. We are back on the LA Gladiators once again, where we see that they have signed the support player Paintbrush. Paintbrush had recently been plying his trade with Revival in Contenders North America West, so if that's where you're wondering where he came from, that's the team. Now, moving on, and we have then a new assistant coach at the LA Gladiators as well. It is Face, the Australian assistant coach of Talon Esports. So, Talon Esports, they made some waves at the Gauntlet. They got much further than some people expected. So, some of their coaching lineup is getting picked up. We'll hear of another one in a minute as well. But moving on after that, we're back to the Guangzhou Charge. Now, you heard that Guangzhou Charge let go of a few people earlier on. Well, this is them replacing them. So, they have signed the Chinese support player Wire, I'm not sure how to say that, from their academy team in Chinese Contenders, the One Winner, or T1W. They have also signed a really good tank player Krong from O2 Blast. O2 Blast are another team that have had their time at the top of Korean Contenders, so this is a really good signing for the Guangzhou Charge. Now, this one actually really caught me off guard. This one is another support player signed by the Guangzhou Charge. It is Neptuno. Now, We all know that Neptuno is one of the most, well, actually the most, statistically, the most bloodthirsty support in the Overwatch League. When he was let go by, I believe, the Philadelphia Fusion, I kind of didn't expect him to be picked up. No offense to Neptuno or anything, but I didn't kind of expect anyone to pick up Neptuno. But it appears that Guangzhou Charge are like, hey, Neptuno, we'll offer you a home. The interesting thing about this is this makes Neptuno the only European player on the Guangzhou Charge. The rest of them are, well, you got Nero, who is an American, and you got Chinese and South Korean. So that's really, really interesting. That's what really caught me off guard. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Neptuno does at the Guangzhou Charge. It's a really interesting transfer, that one. Now, moving on, and we have the Vancouver Titans in action again. They are letting go of Repel. They've also let go of TZ. Now, TZ hasn't been picked up again, but Repel we'll get on to in a minute. Moving on, and we have another Talon head coach coming into the Overwatch League. He will be assistant coach for the San Francisco Shock, and it's Arcane, or Arcane, or I don't even know how to say it. So I apologise, but I will get to know it eventually, I'm sure. But moving on after that, and we have another transfer for the LA Gladiators. This is them re-signing Bishu. And I think this is a really, really good move for the LA Gladiators. Bishu, he's like a leadership figure in the backroom, right? Even if you don't have him on the field, or on the stage, I should say, I think it's still a really good signing. Bishu is a great translator. I went on about it in the top 5 or top 10 free transfers available. Bishu's now gone. He's off the list because he's been signed by the LA Gladiators again. I'm kind of surprised that they brought him back, but realistically, will he get into the Gladiators team over the likes of Space? I don't know, but he is a really good translator for the Korean team, for Korean players coming into the LA Gladiators. So, yeah, I can really see that working for the Gladiators going into this season. Moving on, and we have a new Swedish DPS player in the Overwatch League. He's moving from Team Envy to the Atlanta Reign. Sharp is his name, and Sharp is not quite 18 yet. He turns 18 on December the 10th, so he will be eligible for the league, but he spent a lot of time in North American contenders with Team Envy recently, and he's done really well. Team Envy have done really well in NA Contenders West, so I think this is a really good signing for the Atlanta Reign, and they're really diversifying their roster, so who knows how that will work for the Atlanta Reign. Moving on, and remember when we were talking about Meko being let go by the NYXL? Well, we had this big debate, didn't we? Why have they let him go, and who have they got to replace him? Well, now we finally know. It's the tank, or the off-tank player that was let go by the Guangzhou Charge. It's Hotba. Interesting. Really, really interesting. I think Hotba should really, just slide into NYXL pretty nicely with the setup they've already got there. Hotba, I think, could be really successful at the NYXL. I think he could be really, really successful. It's not the first thing that came to my mind when I was thinking of replacements for Meko, but damn, I think that's actually a pretty good signing for NYXL if they're going to replace him. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good for the NYXL. Moving on, and we have a coaching change at the Dallas Fuel, and this is Jane. Also, Canadian coach, by the way, or Canadian general manager this year. He's no longer an assistant coach with Dallas Fuel. He's going to become a content creator for Team Envy. He is completely out the Overwatch League now, although he will create some content with Envy and probably the Dallas Fuel boys, no doubt. Interesting. I don't think Jane really wants to get into that anymore. I think Jane's kind of not washed his hands of the whole thing, but I think he just wants out of the whole coaching at the moment, just to take a breather and do more of what he loves, which I think is some of the content creation that he's been missing out on over the past few years while he's been with Dallas Fuel. Moving on, and I said Repel would come up again, and here he is. Repel's destination is the Houston Outlaws. Yes, I did mention it on the comments of the Houston Outlaws video. Or did I mention it in the Houston Outlaws video? I think I did. This is an interesting one. This is a really good pickup for the Houston Outlaws. And Houston, with some of the transfers they're making, oh boy, really interesting. Really, really interesting. So, watch out for the Houston Outlaws, because guess what? They've also picked up another player. Yes, we were talking about Meko just now. Well, he's now at the Houston Outlaws. Oh, it gets better and better if you're an Outlaws fan, doesn't it? So, he wanted the challenge of going to... Apparently, he wanted the challenge of going to an American roster, a diverse roster, which is really interesting and really nice to see someone stepping out and making that change in their career. It's going to be a big stepping stone for Meko, no doubt. But if he wants the challenge, and he's up for the challenge, and he's going to work his absolute backside off for it. And Houston, you know, the two signings of Rappel and Meko, paired with lights of hydration. Aye. Watch out for the Houston Outlaws next season. I really think Houston could be the dark horse when it comes to next season, because they have really made some moves in this transfer window, and most of it will be thanks to their new ownership. So it's nice to see the Houston Outlaws finally having an upturn in their fortunes. The last thing we have to cover is a coaching change at the Chengdu Hunters. Unfortunately, Rui has had to leave his role as a coach at the Chengdu Hunters. I believe this is due to personal health issues, which I can understand a lot. I have a lot of personal health issues myself, and damn, I know how hard it can get to you, and it's so unfortunate to see someone so good at their job have to leave it because of issues like this. I hope he really does get well soon, and we get to see him back in the league at some point in the very, very near future, because damn, this is really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate, and all the best to Rui, and I hope he gets better soon. But that rounds off this transfer roundup for now. Now, if we do eventually get some confirmed rosters announced, maybe, just maybe, I mean, London haven't even announced their roster at this point. Yeah, I thought everything was going to be cleared up by the end of this weekend, and it hasn't been. I will do a video as soon as we get all the confirmed rosters, all the confirmed, you know, minimum 8-man rosters done. I will do a video on it. If there is another transfer roundup between then and now, then there will be. But it depends on when that confirmed list comes out. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then.